Firelight Adventures, the secret of Smuggler's Cove. The summer evening was warm and sticky, the kind where fireflies look like slow-moving sparks. Alex, Chris, Barret, and Emma had dragged their sleeping bags out to the old tree for their dads helped build 2 summers ago. A single lantern glowed inside, and the 4 of them lay on their stomachs in a circle, passing around a bag of marshmallows that were definitely not allowed after 9 o'clock. Chris, as usual, was bouncing even while lying down. "Best week of summer ever," he announced, kicking his feet in the air. "No school for 71 more days." 70. Barret corrected quietly, pushing his glasses up. "We already used one." "Close enough." Emma giggled. She scooted an inch closer to Alex without seeming to mean to. "Alex, are you excited for tomorrow? You said we could explore the cove." Alex gave his serious nod, the one that meant yes, but also be careful. Tide's low at 10. We'll have almost 3 hours before the water comes back in. Smuggler's Cove doesn't show its secrets unless the ocean feels like sharing. Chris rolled onto his back. "I heard pirates actually had gold there in 1792. Like real gold." "Probably just old bottles and rusty nails," Barret said, but his eyes sparkled behind his glasses. He loved a mystery more than anyone. Emma hugged her stuffed narwhal. "I vote we find a gold and buy a million ice cream trucks." Alex smiled at that. "Let's survive the night first." Coyotes were howling earlier. "Coyotes are scared of me," Chris declared, flexing his skinny 9-year-old arms. They all laughed, except Alex, who only smiled with the corner of his mouth. And eventually the lantern burned low, and the 4 friends drifted to sleep under a ceiling of pine boards and summer stars. At exactly 6:07 a.m., Barret checked his watch. Chris's voice exploded through the fort. "Treasure day. Up and at 'em." By 9:30, they were biking down the bumpy dirt path to Smuggler's Cove, backpacks rattling with water bottles, shovels, rope, flashlights, and the metal detector Barret's uncle let him borrow. Emma had tied a bright red bandana around her ponytail for pirate luck. The cove appeared when they crested the last dune, a perfect half moon of sand guarded by black rocks and restless waves. The tide had pulled way out, leaving wet secrets behind. Chris sprinted ahead, whooping. Alex jogged after him, calling, "Stay where we can see you." Barret unfolded a hand-drawn map he'd made from old library books. "See this X? That's the big rock that looks like a skull. Legend says you measure 20 paces north at low tide." Emma grabbed Alex's hand. Purely for balance, she insisted, and tugged him along. "Come on, Captain Sirius. Adventure awaits." They found the skull-shaped rock easily. Barret clicked on the metal detector and swept it in slow arcs. For 10 minutes they heard nothing but static and seagulls. Then, Chris dropped his knees and started digging like a dog after a bone. Sand flew everywhere. "Slow down," Alex warned. "We don't know how deep." Clunk! Chris's shovel hit something hard. 10 minutes later, the 4 of them stared down into a knee-deep hole at the corner of a rotten wooden chest bound with rusted iron bands. Emma squealed so loud that gulls took off in a cloud. "We found it. We actually found it." "Careful," Alex said, voice low. "Could be booby-trapped." He always checked for booby traps, even when everyone else rolled their eyes. Barret studied the chest. "Woods from the 1700s. See the square nails? This is real." Together, mostly Alex and Chris doing the heavy lifting, with Emma cheering and Barret directing. They dragged the chest above the tittle-line. The lock was so rusted it crumbled when Alex tapped it with a shovel, but Chris threw open the lid. Inside lay a leather pouch heavy with old gold coins. "Spanish doubloons," Barret whispered in awe. A silver compass so tarnished it looked black. A water-stained journal wrapped in oilcloth. And weirdly, a child-sized tricorn pirate hat, perfectly preserved. Emma snatched the hat and plopped it on Alex's head. "Captain Alex now." She blushed bright red the second she did it, but Alex just grinned and left the hat where it was. Chris poured coins into his palm. They clinked like music. We're rich. We're careful, Alex corrected. This belongs in a museum, or at least to the state. Finders get a reward, but we do this right. Barret was already gently lifting the journal. The first page, in faded ink, read, "To whoever finds this, may you be braver than we were and kinder than the sea. Captain Margaret Peg O'Leary, 1798. Emma's eyes went wide. A girl pirate. They sat in a circle on the warm sand, while Barret read parts aloud. Peg and her crew had hidden the treasure to keep it from a cruel governor who hanged pirates for sport. She'd meant to come back with a new ship, but storms and fate had other plans. When Barret finished, the cove felt quieter, like the rocks themselves were listening. Chris looked at the gold, then at his friends. "So we turn it in." Alex nodded slowly. "It's the right thing, and Peg would want kids to find it, not some jerk with a bulldozer." Emma leaned against Alex's shoulder. Again, purely by accident, we still had the best adventure ever. Barret smiled as rare, full smile. "And the story's not over. There's a second mark on Peg's map. Another X, way out on Blackrook Island." She wrote, "For dreamers who prove worthy." Chris's eyes lit like fireworks. "Part 2 next summer?" "Definitely," Alex said. The tricorn had made him look almost mischievous. They packed the chest carefully, hoisted it onto Chris's old red wagon they dragged behind the bikes, and started the long pull home. The sun was low and orange by the time they reached the tree fort again. That night, around a proper fire their parents let them build, after a lot of responsible promises. They roasted marshmallows and told the grown-ups everything. Historians came the next week. The kids got a handsome reward. Enough for new bikes, a telescope for Barret, and yes, Emma's dream of an ice cream truck day for the whole neighborhood. But the best part happened on the last night of summer break. The 4 of them climbed back into the tree fort with the lantern glowing low. Barret opened the journal to a blank page, near the end that Peg had left empty on purpose. Together they wrote, "To whoever reads this next, we found your treasure and kept it safe. We left the second one for you, because adventures should never stop. Be brave. Be kind. Share the story. Alex, Chris, Barret, and Emma. Summer 2025. Emma added a little heart next to Alex's name when she thought no one was looking. Chris definitely saw, and just grinned instead of teasing her. Outside, fireflies drifted like tiny lanterns. Inside, for friends lay in their sleeping bags, already planning boats and tides and secrets for next year. And somewhere out past the breakers, Captain Peg O'Leary was smiling. The end for now. Sweet dreams, adventurers.